More.
Hi there. Tell me a little bit about why you've come to see me today.
I want to walk more, and I don't feel very motivated to do that, to go on like long nature walks.
Okay. So you want to start going on long nature walks?
Yeah, I would like to be outside more, and my family goes on walks, and I just don't, I want to do it with them, but I can't seem to bring myself to want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you really want to spend time with your family, and going on walks is one way that you can do that.
Yeah, for sure. I just get really bored when we're on walks. Like, I feel like by the time we're like not even a mile in, I'm like, why are we even doing this? Like, when we could be doing something else.
Hmm. Yeah. So it sounds like you get pretty bored when you're going on long walks.
Yeah, I just kind of my brain runs a little wild and it just becomes kind of like, well, we could be going to a museum or going to do these things. Like, why are we just walking? And the talking part is nice. It's just kind of like, I just get kind of burnt out on it pretty fast.
Yeah, it sounds like you like being able to spend time with your family and you like being able to talk, and they're really interested in walking, but it can be a little arduous for you.
It's a little arduous for me, and also my family are really fast walkers, and I can't walk very fast because of my joint disorder.
Hmm.
So it becomes kind of like constantly me having to remind them to slow down. So it also becomes kind of this weird, like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm good at it.
Oh, so you feel like because you're walking slower than your family who walks really fast, that you're not as good at walking as them?
It's almost just kind of like I'm not as like outdoorsy as them is kind of where my insecurity about it comes from, is like they like to be outside, and as much as I like to be outside, I prefer to like sit and read and do that kind of thing, and that's always been kind of a weird point of contention with my family,
Mhm.
where they don't necessarily want to do that, or they don't have the patience to sit down and do that, which I totally understand. So I want to try to meet them more halfway.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like you really want to be able to kind of engage in this activity that your family really loves to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel about going for walks?
Probably like out of 10.
Hmm.
Probably like, I would say like maybe a 6.5,
Okay.
maybe a 7.
Okay. So, like between a 6 and a 7. It sounds like you have kind of a lot of confidence in that, kind of like more than average. So, how come it feels like a 6 or a 7 instead of like, say, a 2 or a 3?
Um, I think because I I think it's because I'm willing to do it, is where it comes from, is like that's something that I'm like I know that they love, so I'm willing to try it. And so like I do it fairly often. I guess my big hesitation is like I want to do it more and enjoy it more, if that makes sense. Like I want to find ways to enjoy doing this thing with my family instead of doing it just because I know they want to do it and I know it's like the easiest way to hang out with them.
Mm-hmm. What enjoyment do you find when you go on walks?
Um, well, as much as I said I'm not like an outdoorsy person, I do like being outside. I do like being outside of my house and being able to walk around and see nature and like go to the park or like, walk around Wright Park or things like that. And I have a lot of enjoyment in spending time with my family. So like that is the big motivator for it, is that like it is family time. But it's just about like my clock runs out super fast with that kind of stuff, just because I feel like sometimes, especially when we run out of things to talk about, I'm like, well, what do we do now? And it's just like us quietly walking, and I'm like, and that just like it doesn't super jive with me.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing you say, like when you do go on walks, you really enjoy being out in the parks, being out in nature, and it feels really good to be able to have those conversations with your family and spend time with them.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Has there been a time where you were able to go on longer walks or that you had a better time with a longer walk with your family?
It was probably before it was probably before my joint disorder got worse as I got older. When I was younger, I was able to go on much longer walks, and now, uneven pavement, especially in like uneven gravel, is really, really hard for me because it like the unevenness really messes with my joints, especially my knees and my hips, where it's the worst. And so I just kind of feel bad because I know my family wants to keep going and like that they, like my mom walks like 5 miles every day. And so it's just kind of like it makes me, feel like I'm holding them back
Mhm.
from doing the walks that they would like to do. And
Yeah,
so I used to love it a lot. And then as I got older, it just got too hard for me to do long walks. Like I can do short ones, but long ones are too hard.
yeah, absolutely. Have you found anything? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, geez, it was just in my head.
That's okay. This happens to me all the time.
Well, we're at 5 minutes.